All right, J.P. Morgan once told Donald Trump he has 20 days to get out. That's the subject of the riff. So imagine an individual with hundreds of millions of dollars in cash who wants to put his money in a bank, a big bank. In fact, the biggest banks in America, and they wouldn't let him. Then imagine this billionaire has a long-term banking relationship with financial giants, but one of them told him, I'm going to quote, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't have you. You have 20 days to get out," end quote. That's the incredible story President Trump revealed today in an interview on CNBC. J.P. Morgan and Bank of America debanked Mr. Trump. I don't care what they say, they did it. He had done business with them for many decades. He had never defaulted. When he was president, he talked to their CEOs, Jamie Dimon and Brian Moynihan, on a regular basis. In fact, when Mr. Trump was president, in his first term, he deposited $1 billion plus to open accounts at the Bank of America. This is a bad story. It's a bad tale. The banks themselves will tell you at the senior-most levels that they have no political reasons to turn down customers. But, of course, that ain't true. In recent years, Joe Biden bank regulators were pressing banks to discriminate against Mr. Trump, against conservatives, against religious organizations, against crypto, against ESG, meaning no loans to fossil fuel oil companies, or anybody who didn't worship at the altar of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, affirmative action. That was the Biden way. Now, Mr. Trump is going to try and end all this by coming out with an executive order which will punish banks that discriminate against conservatives or other groups. And he can't get this order signed soon enough, if you ask me. But back to his story. Whether it was the aftermath of January 6, 2021, or the crazy criminal lawsuits from Alvin Bragg in New York, or the Russian hoax at Mar-a-Lago, or the nutty prosecutors in Atlanta, Georgia, big banks like J.P. Morgan and Bank of America and many others denied Mr. Trump any banking privileges. They were worried about their, quote, reputational risks, or so they say. But another reality is that Biden bank regulators did threaten banks with fines or criminal charges or extreme supervisory actions unless the banks denied privileges to Mr. Trump. It's really an extraordinary story. And as the president now tells it, he had to go to a bunch of smaller banks around the country in order to make his deposits. So fortunately, this chapter of left-wing debanking and left-wing bank knee bending is coming to an end with the new executive order and presumably new Federal Reserve regulators who will end political discrimination once and for all. And that's the riff.